decisions they were making in October, is that not the priority?
JD, wherever you may be. Where's JD? Is there something? He's coming right over. Marco Rubio was doing a fantastic job, and Secretary Christine O was doing a fantastic job, as well as Representative Darren LaHood. Thank you all very much. Hi, Darren. This past summer, the United States hosted the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, and it was great. I actually went to a match, and it was amazing. That was a big success, too, wasn't it? It was sort of like a preview of what's to come. And now we're getting ready for an even bigger event next year as we host the official 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's the big one. The World Cup tournament. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, even for our country, because frankly, this goes to countries, everybody wants it. I guess it's going all over the world. Do you know who's getting it the next time around? Who's getting it? Has that been selected?
The next one will be Morocco, Spain, and Portugal.
That's good.
With 3 matches at the beginning in South America, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. And the one after will be Saudi Arabia in 2034.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Well, we have the king coming, Crown Prince is coming tomorrow. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase the greatness of American world-class athletic competition as we celebrate our nation's 250th year. The World Cup will also be an incredibly significant economic opportunity for countless American workers and businesses. It's expected to drive more than $30 billion, Johnny. I don't know about that. That sounds like a lot of money.
No, it's true.
Are you sure?
100%.
How much does the country get out of that?
30 billion.
20%. No, do we get like a percentage of the gross or anything?
That's for negotiation.
That's right. And it's going to create nearly 200,000 jobs for America. Since the creation of the White House FIFA Task Force earlier this year, Secretary Rubio's team at the State Department
from all around the world are properly vetted and able to come to the United States next summer easily.
From all
Before I
around
took
the
office,
world
it would
are
often take
properly
a year
vetted and
to get
able
the
to
travel
come to the
visa,
United States
but
next
because
summer
of
easily.
the administration's
Before I took
hard
office,
work
it would
now,
often
in more
take
than
a year
80% of
to
the
get a
world,
travel
think
visa,
of
but
that,
because
the wait
of
time for a visa is 60
administration's
days or
hard
less.
work now, and
For those who intend to
80% of the
join us
world,
for the
think
World
of that,
Cup, I
the
strongly
wait
encourage
time
you
for a
to
visa is 60
apply
days
right
or less.
away.
For
And
those
I
who
wanna
intend
thank,
to
FIFA
join
Task
us for
Force
the
and
World Cup, I
Secretary
strongly
Rubio
encourage
for
you to
the great
apply
job.
right
Marco's
away.
doing a fantastic
And I
job
want
in
to
many
thank
ways.
FIFA Task
So I
Force
want to
and
just thank you
Secretary
all for
Rubio
a great
for
job, Marco. You're
the
doing a
great
great
job. Marco's doing
Beyond
a fantastic
limits.
job in many ways.
We're also
So I
creating what
wanna
we're
just
calling the
thank you all for a
FIFA
great job.
prioritized appointment scheduling
Beyond
system.
limits.
That's a hard one
We're
for
also
most people
creating
to
what we're calling the
remember.
FIFA
But
prioritized
it's there
appointment
nevertheless,
scheduling
and this
system.
will allow World Cup
It's a hard one for most
ticket
people to
holders with
remember.
long wait times to
But,
opt with FIFA
it's there
for a
nevertheless, and this will allow
prioritized
World
interview.
Cup ticket
And I've
holders with long
directed
wait
my
times
administration
to
to
opt with
do
FIFA for a
everything within the
prioritized
power to make the
interview.
2026
And I've directed my
World Cup
administration
an
to do
unprecedented
everything
success. I
within
think
the
it's
power
going
to
to
make
be
the
the greatest. And we
2026
are
World
setting
Cup
and
an
records of
unprecedented
ticket sales.
success.
Nobody's
I think
ever
it's going to
really
be
and
greatest, and we are
you look at
setting
the numbers.
records
Nobody's
of
ever seen
ticket sales.
anything like
Nobody's
the
ever
kind of
really,
numbers we're doing.
and FIFA's
And
never.
the early ticket sales
You
are
look at
through the roof, and
the
much of it
numbers,
is even
nobody's ever
sold
seen
out.
anything like the
So
kind of numbers we're
congratulations, Johnny. And
the
I'd
early
like to
ticket
ask
sales
Johnny
are
to
through
say
the
a few
roof,
words.
and
He's
much of it
really
is even sold
done an
out.
incredible job. He's got
So
unbelievable
congratulations,
spirit
Johnny,
and
and
personality
I'd like to
and
ask
talent
Johnny to say
and
a few words. He's
intelligence.
really
I always like to
done
say
an
'cause
incredible job. He's
it's
got
all a part of it,
unbelievable
but
spirit
the
and
job
personality
you've
and
done
talent.
is based
And
on what's happening.
intelligence, I always like to
Unprecedented.
say.
Thank you, Johnny.
It's
Thank
all
you.
a part of it.
Thank you,
but
President.
The job you've done
Thank
is
you very much.
based on
I
what's
would like
happening,
to
unprecedented.
start
Thank
really
you,
by
Johnny.
thanking you, Mr. President, Secretary. Thank
Rubio,
you very much.
Secretary Nolan,
I would like
Andrew,
to start
your
really by
entire
thanking
team
you, Mr.
for
President.
approving and making this very important
your
announcement
entire team
today.
for,
The
approving
FIFA
and
Pass
making this very
is
important
being announced. The
announcement,
prioritized
FIFA
appointment
Pass
scheduling
being
system.
announced.
That's the way people will remember it.
Prioritized
So if you have a
appointment
ticket for the World Cup,
scheduling
you can
system.
have a prioritized
That's the way
appointment
people
to
will
get
remember it.
your visa.
So if you have a
because,
ticket
we
for
said
the
it
World Cup,
the very first time we
you
met,
can
Mr.
have
President.
a prioritized appointment
America
to get
welcomes the
your
world.
visa,
America
because,
will welcome the
we
world
said it
here.
the very first time we
Next
met, Mr.
year we will
President.
have between 6 and 7 million tickets sold for the matches. We'll have between 5 and 10 million people coming to America from all over the world to enjoy the World Cup, and with this FIFA pass we can make sure that those who buy a ticket that are legitimate football fans or soccer fans, they can come and attend the World Cup in the best conditions, starting from getting their visa and then coming, of course, in the country to enjoy. You mentioned the economic impact, the 30 billion, 200,000 jobs, and this is just for the World Cup, and we will build on that to make soccer even greater. Here you are, the number one country in the world, the United States of America, Mr. President. You have to be the number one country as well, and the number one sport in the world. So we have to work for that, and we will do that, and the World Cup will be very, very.
We have to work for
big
that,
thank you to you, to the White House Task Force, to everyone involved, and we are
big thank you to you to
celebrating next year not just the 250 years, but also the greatest and most inclusive World Cup ever. We'll have 6 billion people watching. We have the draw coming up on the 5th of December here at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. 1 billion people watching the draw to find out who plays whom and where. We have 32 teams already qualified. Before or by tomorrow night, we'll have 42 out of 48 qualified. So a quarter of the world will be here, and we are looking very much forward. So thanks for the support, thanks for the great work, and always happy to be here at home. Thanks for the support, thanks for the great work.
It's a beautiful trophy right there.
Always happy to be here.
And a big part of it too. Marco, would you say a few words?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. First of all, for getting the games, because this happened in your first term when the Cup came here, and it's a major undertaking. So we deployed over 400 additional consular officers around the world to deal with that, in some cases doubling the size of the consular presence in our embassies in certain countries. And the good news now is that about 80% of the world you can get an appointment within 60 days. It used to take, half a year or longer, and now sometimes it took, now you can get it in less than 2 months, where in places it took over a year. In places, for example, like Brazil and Argentina, it took over a year to get an appointment. Now you can get it in less than 2 months. So our advice to everybody is, if you have a ticket for any of the games, you need to apply if you haven't done so as soon as possible. Don't wait till the last minute. Our advice to everybody is, your ticket is not a visa. It doesn't guarantee admission to the U.S. It guarantees you an expedited appointment. You're still going to go through the same vetting. Your ticket is not the same vetting as anybody else would get. The only difference here is we're moving them still going to go through the same vetting. We're moving them up faster. But my advice to everyone that's watching around the world is, if you intend to come to the games, you have to have a ticket. You need to apply as soon as possible. You're going to get your interview within 6 to 8 weeks. If you intend to come to the games, you have to have a ticket. And you need to apply move forward from there. Don't wait till the last minute to do it. Thank you. 6 to 8 weeks.
Mr. Congressman, would you like to say?
Well, first of all, Mr. President, none of this would have happened without your leadership securing this during your first term. I tell my colleagues all the time, this will be the largest sporting event in the history of the world. We expand from 32 to 48 teams for the first time ever. We're doing it with Mexico and Canada, but obviously the 11 host cities will be here in the United States, and it's going to have a $30 billion impact in Canada, but obviously in this country. And so host cities it has been a team effort by everybody. It's going to have a $30 billion impact, and obviously you, Mr. President, and your entire team. It has been a team effort by everybody, but also it is going to be an unbelievable sporting event. And obviously you, Mr. President, and your entire team, Andrew and Nick and everybody, it is going to be an unbelievable sporting event next summer.
Much more important, and honestly, without her work, without Secretary of State Rubio's work in the State Department, this would not happen. Without your leadership and your vision, this would not have happened. I think 2 key points. One, Secretary of State already highlighted, this is a welcoming message to the world without going around the safety and security procedures. It's so key to make sure that this World Cup is safe and secure, and the White House Task Force is working working every day to make sure that's the case. And also, as Congressman LaHood said, the economic benefits for American businesses, both small and large, from $30 billion event. So really, thanks to all the White House task force members, from Secretary Rubio to Secretary Noem, to notice of funding opportunities that went out to the cities and states last month were really key from the safety and security perspective, to Deputy Chief of Staff Luna, who is integral in this whole process, to the White House task force members that are standing in the back of the room today and that couldn't be here. Without your hard work, this would not have happened, and I really can't thank you enough for really the best team I've ever been a part of. And also to FIFA, to the President Gianni Infantino, my good friend Carlos Cordiero, your desire to make this World Cup the best yet, it's contagious. Every single day I come in and think, what can we do to make this even better? And Mr. President, your vision more than every single day I think it takes a unique visionary to be able to go and see a sporting event and realize that this can be one of the greatest cultural events in world history. And I think there are very few people aside from the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, that can do that undertaking. I think there are very few people aside from the 45th.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for Andrew. Thank you for making him the head of our FIFA task force. He's fantastic. And Nick has been a rock star in facilitating all of our meetings, getting everybody together, and making sure that we're prepared to host this event. And it's going to be the world's largest sporting event ever hosted, and it's happening under your leadership. So every department has been working, but the Department of Homeland Security is working on making sure people can travel here safely. They know that they're welcome to the United States, that each of these events will be cooperative events with our cities to make sure that security needs are met. We put out over $600 million worth of grants to the 11 host cities that they'll have the advantage to partner on technologies and screening technologies, drone technology, counter UAS as well will be implemented. So we'll be prepared to host it safely, but also with Marco's leadership at the State Department, making sure that people that come in on these tourist visas are coming in thoroughly vetted, just like anyone who would travel here, and they would come and enjoy our country, and then they would go home and go home in a timely manner. So we're excited about that, and we're excited to partner with you, Mr. President, on creating memories for people around the world that will make them not just fall in love with the United States, but also fall in love with the sport of soccer.
Thank you. How many games are there, Johnny, total?
Total 104 games, meaning 104 Super Bowls.
How many games
in 1 month. This is the magnitude of the event.
When you think
It is. It's incredible.
it's going to be the biggest sporting event we've ever had. It's like having 104, or even if you cut it in 50, 60, the biggest sporting event. That's okay too. It's like having 100. Any questions, please? Even if you cut it in 50, 60.
FIFA Pass
That's
idea
okay
that you
too.
guys are talking about here.
Any
How
questions?
exactly is it going to work for ticket holders to this big event, the FIFA Pass
I'll
idea
let my
that
guys do
you're
that
talking
because they
about
can do
here?
it much
How
better.
exactly is it going
Either
to
one
work
of
for
you
ticket
two.
holders to this big event?
Sure. Well, Mr. President, without your leadership, this would not happen. And we came in 10 months. We have a system that's going to welcome the world. The greatest host in the history of the world is going to host the world here. Basically, this system allows folks with a FIFA ticket purchased through FIFA to go through the FIFA portal. That is then going to get prioritized with the State Department, so that those appointments are going to be had before existing appointments, so that people, when they buy tickets, they have confidence that they're going to be able to come to the games and spend their money and travel this country and do all the things that they want to do and enjoy the game. So it's an incredible vision that the President executed here. Within 10 months, we started with really not that much. And so this whole team here, with the President's guidance, has made this possible. It's going to be the greatest games in the history of the world.
Okay, do you have that?
This whole team here, with the President's guidance, has made this possible.
Daniel, please. Daniel, okay, do you have that?
Well, you're talking about the economic impact. Billions and billions of dollars. This builds on the framework and the groundwork that you've built already up for a major year in 2026. Deregulation, energy independence, tax cuts, historic amounts of private sector investments. What do you envision for the 2026 economy when this event comes to town next year? What do you envision?
Yeah, it's just a huge economic boon to this. You know, we had a little shutdown that was caused by the Democrats, and this will make up for it many times over, so that's good. But I think it's the importance of the event all over the world. The world is watching, and it really is. It's like having, you know, many Super Bowls. Actually, each game is almost a Super Bowl. Some of them are, and it really is. You could say bigger than many Super Bowls when you get to the 5 games. It's of that level. or more. Worldwide, I think it's got to be more. So that's great. You know, when Johnny and I made the deal, I never thought I was going to be president because I was supposed to be retired by that time. Johnny and I got a little lucky, so I'm very honored to have it. We have the Olympics coming too. That'll be great. And the 250. 250 is going to be right out on the lawn. The Olympics UFC event with Dana White and his people. He's going to have the greatest card they've ever assembled. I was talking to Dana White the other day, and they're going to have the greatest card they've ever assembled, Johnny. So you'll be sitting up there with me there. We'll be watching it right opposite the front door of the White House. It's going to be on June 14th. So it's really going to be an amazing period of time. But this is something very, very special. World Cup, all my life. It's really going to be
I have a question about Venezuela, but can I just first ask, the help of the president's always needed. Your voice sounds a little rough. Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I was shouting at people because
help of the president's always needed. Your voice sounds a little rough. Are you feeling all right?
Having to do, I feel great. I was shouting at trade in the country, and I straightened it. I was stupid, but I blew my stack at these people. Trade.
Well, it sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about Venezuela? You suggested it sounds like there's a follow-up there. Can I ask you about Venezuela?
You said it was a polyp. I said, I don't want to hear that. You said it was a polyp. I don't want to hear that.
You suggested you made now U.S. wanted to understand you don't want to tip your hand. Is there anything you
have to take care of Venezuela? They dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country from prisons. Nobody knows better than this young lady right here. She's done an incredible job with Tom Homan and all your prisons. Nobody knows better. Amazing. You know, we have a tight border right there. Nobody comes in. Tom Homan. We had millions of people pouring through. A year ago, we had millions of people tight border right there. Nobody comes in. And many of them came from Venezuela, including Tren de Aragua, the gang. Millions of people. And I guess what I'm hearing, Christy, is that's as bad a gang as there is anywhere, including Tren.
Absolutely, they are the worst.
And I guess what I'm hearing, they're worse than MS-13.
They're killers. They massacre people. They cut them up in pieces. Absolutely, they are the bury them in their communities where they grew up. They're killers.
Now we had a lot of them, and many of them, most of them, pretty soon, most of them are going to be out. They sent them in like we're dumping ground. So, most of them, I'm not in love with the people running Venezuela. I love Venezuela. I love the people of Venezuela. But what they've done to this country, and I really say this, what Biden and the Democrats have done to this country can never, ever be forgotten. And I really say this, what Biden and the Democrats have done to can never, ever be forgotten. Yeah, I probably would talk to him. Yeah, I talk to everybody. Please go ahead. I talk to everybody.
You said about H-1B visas. You said that there were certain talents that Americans needed to outsource to foreign workers. Could you clarify?
Until they learn that, yeah. Like for instance, if you're going to be making chips, we don't make chips too much here anymore, but we are going to be. Like for instance, a period of a year, we're going to have a big portion of the chip market. We have to train our people how to make chips because we didn't do it. We used to do it. We're going to have a big portion. And then foolishly we lost that business to Taiwan. Very, very foolishly because we didn't do it. We used to do it. President that and then foolishly we lost that business. Thought like I did, they would not have let that happen. But it's all coming back. I think we're going to have within a few years we're going, and not because of the CHIPS Act. I think we're going to the CHIPS Act was a disaster. A few years we gave away billions of dollars to other countries and other locations and companies. And all they did was rob our money to other countries. But because of tariffs, the chips are coming back. Chip makers are all coming back. And I think within a very short period of time, we're going to have maybe even the majority of the chip making in the world will be right in the United States. Where it should have been all along. But because we had people that didn't believe in tariffs, and they believed it, where it should have been all along, we would have had. But because we had nobody that didn't believe in tariffs, they believed in state of almost 100% of the chips. We would have had nobody so disgraceful right now. The good news is it's all coming back. Yeah, please. The gentleman in the back.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to just follow up on Venezuela.
The good news is it's all coming back.
Yeah, please. The gentleman in the back. Could say or do that would allow you to feel like he could stay with your support? Is there anything that would allow you to feel like he could stay with your support?
It's a little bit tricky.
I don't think it was meant to be tricky.
It's hard to say that. Yeah,
He's done tremendous damage to our country, primarily because of drugs, but really because we have that problem with other countries
He's done
too.
tremendous damage
But
to our country.
more than any other country,
because
the
of
release
drugs,
of
but really
prisoners
because
into
we
our
have that
country
problem
has
with
been a
other countries,
disaster.
too.
He's
But
emptied his jails.
More than any
Others
other
have done that
country,
also.
the release of prisoners into our country
he,
has been a disaster. He's
Has not been good to the United
Others have
States.
done
So
that
we'll see what
also.
happens. At a certain period of time, I'll be talking to him.
Mr. President, can you follow up? You mentioned your voice.
At a certain period of time, I'll be talking.
Which country in particular? Follow up. You mentioned
The
your
country
voice.
wanted
You
to
were
try
shouting
and
about trade.
renegotiate the terms of
Which
their
country
trade deal.
in particular upset you with India?
No. A country wanted to try and renegotiate.
Why would I say that to you? Why would I can't believe it?
Mr. President, on the World Cup, if you would, Seattle and the World
Why
Cup.
would I say that
The
to
new
you?
mayor-elect of Seattle is a Democratic Socialist. Seattle has
Or beyond, I watched her.
Seattle has
That's
a new
more
mayor-elect
than
of Seattle.
socialism.
Seattle has 6 World Cup games. How has he been
Or beyond,
watching?
I watched that.
Seattle has 6.
That's more than socialism.
Well, if we think, and I'll have to speak to Johnny about this, but if we think that the mayor of LA is incompetent.
If we
everybody
think, and I'll
knows
have to
that.
speak
You know,
to Johnny about this,
that
but if we
I was there, I
think
guess,
that,
2 years ago,
the mayor of LA
and we
is
got all the federal
incompetent,
permits taken care of.
You know,
far more complex than
I
this.
was there, I guess, 2 years ago.
City permits.
And we got all the federal
And Lee
permits
Zeldin,
taken
who's a
care of.
superstar,
Far
got
more
everything taken
complex
care
than
of.
the state permits and
The
city
toughest part,
permits.
having to do with the fires,
Lee Zeldin
that should
was
have
a
never
superstar,
happened.
got
Everything
everything
let the
taken
water
care of.
come in, it wouldn't have happened,
The
right?
toughest part,
Do you know
having
that
to do with the
people are
fires,
building their
that
houses?
should have never
Can
happened
you
if they
imagine
let the
that?
water come in. It wouldn't
And
have happened,
if
right?
we didn't go in early
You know
on,
that
Chris, I
people
think we
aren't
can say,
building their houses yet?
well, the
Can
head
you
of their
imagine?
police department said,
If we didn't
they
go
were
in
unable
early
to
on,
handle it.
Chris,
You would have
I
had,
think we
not
can
only
say-
did you have the fires, but you would have had
their police department
total
said
insurrection in
they
Los
were unable
Angeles.
to handle. You would have had.
And
not
if we
only
didn't
did
go
you have
in,
the fires, but you
and
would have
the
had
head of, the gentleman, he
total
said it, and he said it
insurrection in Los
strongly,
Angeles.
said we could not have done it
If we
without
didn't
the
go
federal
in,
government.
and the
We
head
did a
of
great
the
job.
gentleman, he said it, and he said
If
it
we
strongly.
think there's going to be
Said
the
we could
sign
not have
of
done it without
any
the federal
trouble,
government.
I would ask
We did a
Johnny
great
to
job.
move that to a different city. We have a lot of
If we
cities
think there's going to be the
that
sign of
would love to
any
have it
trouble,
number one,
I would ask
and we'll
Johnny
do it
to
very
move that to a
safely.
different city.
So if
We
we
have a
think
lot of
there's a
cities
problem
that
in Seattle where you have a very,
would love to
very
have it number one.
liberal /
Then we'll do it very
communist mayor,
safely.
I would say,
So if we think
certainly
there's a
beyond just
problem in
liberal.
Seattle,
I
we
watched
have
her
a
over the
very,
weekend.
very
Wow.
liberal
That's
/
another beauty we
communist
got
mayor.
there.
I would say,
But
certainly
if we
beyond
think there's
just
going to be a
liberal.
problem,
I
we'll.
watched her over the weekend. Wow.
Johnny, can I say we will move?
beauty
I
we
don't
got
think you're
there.
going to have this problem,
But
but
if
we're
we
going to
think
move
there's
the
gonna
event
be a
to someplace where it's
problem,
going to be
Johnny,
appreciated
can I
and
say
safe.
we will move?
Yeah, well, I think safety and security is
event to
the
someplace
number
where it's gonna
one
be
priority
appreciated and safe.
for a successful
Yeah, I think
World
safety
Cup.
and security
We can see today
is the number
that
one
people have
priority.
trust in the United
for a
States
successful
when we see the tickets.
We can see today
ticket sales.
that,
We
people
sold
have trust
record-breaking
in the United States
figures of
when we
tickets.
see,
Almost 2 million already sold out of 2 million that we've been selling. This is because people, they know that they will be coming here and they will experience a safe and secure World Cup. This is the responsibility, of course, of the government, of Secretary Norm, of everyone, and obviously we will. We will discuss. We are working together. We have a task force for this, and we must ensure that all fans coming from abroad or being here, they can experience a celebration of
all fans
coming together of the sport, and this goes only with 100% safety.
We are communicating with all these mayors about what their responsibilities are. They know the safety and security of these events is their number one responsibility. And we'll be there. The president's always there to keep Americans safe. But he also makes sure that people that know their responsibilities and that they're prepared to host these events and do so in a safe manner.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was some news this morning from laying groundwork for a potential 2028 presidential run. Could I get your reaction to, would you see yourself supporting laying
Well, he's a friend of mine. I mean, I haven't spoken to him about it. It's a little early. It's 3¼ years. It's a long time, but he's a very good guy. He's a very good friend of mine. You remember we had quite a campaign against Ted.
Very good guy.
And it worked out quite nicely. We'll see where are we? We're in the old one.
Quite a campaign.
But I'm not that surprised to see where are we.
Mr. President, on the tariff exemptions, you had some recently. Are you ruling out going forward no more exemptions on products? You're mentioning it this morning.
We've taken in hundreds of millions of dollars in tariff money. We're going to be issuing dividends later on. We've taken in somewhere prior to probably in the middle of next year, a little bit later than dividends of thousands of dollars for individuals of moderate income, middle income. We're going to pay down debt. You know, we have a lot of money from tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, this nation would be in serious trouble. And we've taken in tremendous amounts of money. And you know what's more important than that? We've protected our businesses from being raided like we did with the chip business. Now we're bringing them all back. But we had 100% of the chip industry. And then they left. They went mostly to Taiwan and South Korea, but mostly Taiwan. We had 100%. And they have almost 100%. And then they left. And we're going to have, within a short period of time, a big percentage of the chip business that coming back because of tariffs, because they don't want to pay the tariffs, because the tariffs will be very steep if they don't come back, and they've committed to come back. As you probably heard, Apple is now up to $700 billion. We have NVIDIA at $600 billion. We have tremendous amounts of money pouring in. Our country has become amazing again and really, really rich again. I will say this. We have a decision we're waiting for. It's a very big decision. The numbers that we've taken in, if you talk about investments, is trillions, not with a B, not with an M, millions, but trillions of dollars. I can't imagine having to give that money back on something that we're allowed to do. And the ones that are fighting us are countries, largely. They're back in countries that have been ripping us off for years, using tariffs to rip us off. And now we're able to defend ourselves. It really is a matter of national security, because economic security is national security. So I think you're going to see another thing happening. I think you'll see food prices. They've come down very substantially since Biden. But I think you're going to see food prices coming down very substantially.
Saudi Arabia, tomorrow you're hosting Saudi Arabia. Are you planning to sell F-35s to Saudi Arabia? And also, are you looking at doing a similar security agreement like you did with
No, I am planning on doing that,
You're going to
they
sell
want to buy.
F-35s?
They've been a great ally. They've got to like us very much. Look at the Iran situation, what we did in terms of obliterating, we obliterated their nuclear capability. Yeah, I will say that we will be doing that. We'll be selling F-35s.
Mr. President, you clarified something you posted on Truth Social last night. You urged House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill they're going to vote on tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman, you look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, they went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want is for people to recognize the great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower, on energy, on ending 8 wars and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. We've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. With Kennedy, we gave everything, and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything, and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is 50,000 pages. 50,000 pages. And it's just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. Now, I believe that some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. But they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract
from the great success of the Republican Party, including the fact that the Democrats are totally blamed for the shutdown. You know, they cost our country hundreds of billions of dollars with that, at a lot of inconvenience. So I'm for I don't. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much, because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time. Yeah,
Mr. President, on affordability,
the shutdown is now over, and administration officials had said when the shutdown ends, they'll reevaluate the farmer relief. Now we have the deal with China. So is the administration still looking to dish out farmer relief now that the government is back open?
Yeah, we want to. I'm always going to help our farmers.
So are you still looking to do
I would
relief?
do that, yeah. If they need relief, we'll be there for them. We're going to always be for our farmers.
So what are you waiting
Yeah,
for?
please, in the back.
Mr. President, just speaking of the economic impacts of FIFA and possibly moving to another city, some games if you feel there's crime, is there like a timeline that you would do that? Because these cities, there's sponsorships, there's economic impacts for these communities.
Sure.
Is there,
Well, you know, the governors are going to have to behave. The mayors are going to have to behave. You know, in the case of California, you have a problem. You have high crime, and you have a place that just suffered great fires and everything else, and they didn't do a very good job. And if we didn't go in from the crime standpoint, you would have had a disaster. It would have been, it was not going to be handled properly. It wasn't able to be. The head of the police said without, as I said, without the federal government, they could not have done it. So here's the story. I love Los Angeles. If they want help during this, I would love to send in National Guard or whoever's necessary to help them. I want it to be great. I'd love it to be in Los Angeles. I love the place. It's a natural for Los Angeles. If we think there's going to be crime, if we are obstructed by the governor, and maybe he won't obstruct, maybe it'll be great. But I'd love him for him to call and say, you know, we'd like to have some extra help. Because if there's even a hint of a problem, we want to get in there before the problem occurs. We want to make it totally safe for Johnny and FIFA and all of the great people that are going to be there, and I think that's going to happen. I would be honored to help California if they're going to have a problem, and if they think they're going to have a problem, they should say so. We can be in there in 24 hours notice and do a great job.
But does that mean by the year, by the end of the year, by the end of the first quarter?
Well, I think this: if they would tell us now, they're not going to have a problem, because if we go in, they don't have a problem. Look at D.C. There's no crime in D.C. anymore. And D.C. was a mess. If they want us to go in, I'd like them to tell us right now. But if we go in, there will be no problem. There will be no crime.
What's the message then to like local businesses who are considering sponsoring in this
Tell your governor to ask for federal help. We'd love to help them.
Mr. President, are you planning on also potentially launching strikes in Mexico or putting American troops or American personnel into Mexico to deal with it?
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is, look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there. If we had to, would we do there what we've done to the waterways? You know, there's almost no drugs coming in through our waterways anymore. Isn't it down like 85%?
It is, sir.
I don't know who the 15% would be.
Yep.
It wouldn't be you.
No, that's for sure.
No, I think it's been,
Tons and tons of
you would say
drugs.
that's a big signal.
Absolutely.
We have almost no drugs coming into our country by the sea, by, you know, the waterways. And you know why, okay? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Would I do that on the land cars? I would absolutely. Look, every boat we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. Not to mention the destruction of families. These families are decimated forever. The mother, the father, the children, they never recover really from it. You know, when you lose somebody, like the way they live, if you lose them, but the way they die is horrible.
Is it something?
So when we knock out a boat and we save 25,000 lives, that's great. Now, do I feel the same way about the corridors that they use. We know every one of them. We have every one of those corridors under major surveillance. We have nobody coming in through our southern border. But we know exactly how they get their things here, how they get the drugs here, fentanyl, cocaine. Colombia has cocaine factories where they make cocaine. Would I knock out those factories? I would be proud to do it personally. I didn't say I'm doing it, but I would be proud to do it because we're going to save millions of lives by doing it.
Would you only do it with Mexico's permission, though?
I wouldn't answer that question. I've been speaking to Mexico. They know how I stand. We're losing hundreds of thousands of people to drugs. So now we've stopped the waterways, but we know every route. We know every route. We know the addresses of every drug lord. We know their address. We know their front door. We know everything about every one of them. They're killing our people. That's like a war. Would I do it? I'd be proud to. I'd probably go into Congress and say, hey, and you know what? The Democrats and the Republicans would both agree, unless they're crazy. And they are a little crazy on the Democrat side. But we have lost hundreds of thousands of people a year, death. And that's not talking about family destruction, that's talking about death. And much of it comes through Mexico. So let me just put it this way. I am not happy with Mexico, okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Thank you.
Thank you, photographers. Thank you, guys for reporting. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Who are you yelling at? Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Tell you,
Thank you, press. Keep going.